Some have been laid off, some have been working for some limited time. How are these baristas going to cope up with the added time that is going to come with the full opening of the economy?
To the other hand, it is going to be hard phase. They are not willing to give out shifts, and they overwork junior baristas to an extent of, you know, making them lose this morale, this coffee morale. Because some time back I had a friend, he was employed in, he was actually my neighbor. He was at Zarif, I was at the coffee cafe. And this guy could work from morning to midnight, or to mid. After leaving the place, he was like, I will never work again in Uganda.
The experience made him hate working in Uganda.
That made him hate Ugandans, you get.
Isn't that what we
hate our industry? No, someone can't work from morning to closure, yet you're expecting him to come very early in the morning the other day, you get. And you'll find out that most of the baristas these days who join Brew Plus come to study. So this will affect worked for like 6 months. Then this time round, I did not even write a resignation letter. Just left. Then they called, you come back and we talk, come back and, you know, we sort it out, we get you a helper. You were good. You know me, I'm a very patient guy with bosses. But when it's too much, I leave. And I've done this to 3 different places. 3 different restaurants. I won't mention them.
You've set up different places, different restaurants, different coffee shops. If you would be in the shoes, how would you prepare for such an opening of the economy? Like, how would you prepare for this opening of the economy? Like, you've been working from PM.
I'll have to look.
Like a wholesale business selling merchandise. How are you prepared to work for these long hours, and how have you prepared for your workers? Let's talk about an issue of human resource. You talked about employers employing more employees, right?
Yes.
But this guy will come out and tell you, hey, look, yes, I want to employ different people or more people, but hey, I don't have money. Like, I've been working from 7 to maybe 5, but clients have been stopping to come in at around maybe 2 p.m. Where am I going to get this money that's going to pay more employees that you want me to employ? How do you advise such a person?
Okay, most of the people that have come up with most of the cafes around town, they always, when you reach these bosses, they're like, we want to be like Cafe Javas. We want to do as Javas does. Not knowing that at Javas, people work in shifts. And actually, I worked for a certain boss. He employed me as a senior barista, and at the same time as a supervisor to train the team. Then he was giving me some good money. I was like, yes, you're giving me good money, but are you going to get someone else to hold me out? Because I'm a barista, yes, I have a steward, but at the same time, I'm a supervisor. This is overloading me. You get? I'll need an assistant. He was like, no. Keep on pushing. Then with time,
I shall get someone.
I shall get someone to help you out. It became a song. You get? So the advice I'll give the CEOs about what is going, the country is opening, get some junior baristas. They are not so expensive since they have just joined the industry. Give them good money. Not very good, but good money. Give them some allowances. Trust me, these people will work. As long as he's not working for long hours, this guy will work.
Okay. This guy will work, but also the point of quality. You know, we've been used to producing a certain quantity of a certain quality in terms of maybe like coffee. You've been producing maybe 50. Okay, 54. Let me just consider the smaller shops. You've been using like maybe 10 kgs of coffee a week. That's like maybe 1.5 kilos of coffee every day. And now you're going to open up, you're going to have higher demand for coffee. How would you advise this person who wants to bring in much coffee to maintain the quality of coffee that's bringing in?
Bringing in more coffee.
Like, for example, maybe I've been bringing in 10 kgs of coffee every week. But now, due to the fact that we're opening up, I'm going to bring in maybe like 20 kgs of coffee. So, but I want to maintain this quality of coffee and also bring in much coffee in my coffee shop. How am I going to do that?
You want to maintain the quality of the coffee?
Yes.
You know, maintaining quality starts with people you employ. If these people are well equipped with coffee knowledge, don't worry much about quality.
Really? Because I might be well with the coffee knowledge, but my friend, the coffee you're bringing to me as a barista, it's terrible. How am I going to...
Of course, as a barista, you have to tell. You should be in position to tell whether the coffee you're being provided is good or bad. You get this. The boss should not be the one to tell. You know, this is your section. You're heading this section, so you should be in position to know which coffee is good and which coffee is bad. You know, this takes us back to where people teach baristas from. People have come up with different baristas lab and schools, and there are people who are actually giving them half information and knowledge, skills about becoming a real barista. You get me myself. I was affected sometimes. When I left barista house, I didn't know about, how to calibrate a grinder. I came to know a grinder when I'm in the field. I knew how to steam the other side and all that, but I didn't know more about the grinder. So I got to know the grinder in the field. So at times you leave a school, knowing that you're good to go, reaching there, someone brings in coffee, and you just grind and serve. You can't tell that this is good coffee or bad coffee. Then why are you heading a department? Okay.
Why are you heading a department? Because I'm paying you to head a department.
The boss trusts somebody to head a department, knowing that this person is having the knowledge, enough knowledge and skill to push the department forward. But now when you serve bad coffee, then...
Do you really think that CEOs or owners of different companies, especially in the coffee industry, should adopt this method of like taking back their workers in whatever department they're in, because they're serving coffee, whether in service, whether the cleaner, because this cleaner is helping me like clean the place where I'm taking coffee from. Do you think they should adopt that method of like taking back the students, taking back these people for more training, refreshing training?
Yeah, actually, it's the advice I will give, because we've ever done it. It was at Chili's and we were doing it. So is getting experienced people. Maybe you can go to Brew Plus, talk to the CEOs to get you someone experienced. Take this person to your restaurant and train these people. That is actually what I would advise the CEOs to do.
Okay.
You get someone experienced, give him some money. It's not much money. You get? Take him to your restaurant. Let him train these people.
Okay, if you're a CEO and you're glued on this show, which is the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent TV, let us know, how do you keep your employees up to date in everything they do? Like, the point you employ them is the same standard they're doing to the level that they are on in doing that specific time. Well, let us know how you do it. This is the Coffee Break Show, and my name is Amun Mukisa. We're going to go into a short commercial break, and up next is our brewing session that we shall be having with my colleague right here. Don't you go away. Would you say that also like the pay in Uganda in terms of salary is affecting the ladies' involvement in the coffee industry? You know, men as like, if you're not getting enough on the job, at least people in Uganda call it kuiriba. You know, they will do that. But ladies, when they, ladies will be in a specific job full time, and what they get is what they get. Do you think that's also affecting like ladies getting involved in the coffee industry?
About payments in Uganda, I'm not so sure, but it could. What I know that here in Uganda, baristas are being cheated.
Say her name.
No, Madam. I've even forgotten, but
she's which madam are you trying to? In UCDA?
The lady in UCDA.
You're talking about Claire?
Claire, Madam Claire should do something. They should sit down. They should put stacking in Mbale. He told me they pay him only 300.
300.
But he's a barista.
For a man.
Yeah, it's not enough even to pay for the rent. So maybe they should do something.
This message is coming, please. This message is coming direct from Saddam to Madame Claire on UCDA, to UCDA.
Yeah, to the board.
To the board.
To the board. UCDA, please do something. Do something, yeah. Our baristas are being cheated. That's why most of the baristas are running outside.
Yeah.
They here in Dubai, they are paying at least good salary. I should go to Dubai.
Okay.
But if they pay us well, I think we should bring all this energy to our industry and we make it on the map.
You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, brew ratio is I think the most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of the coffee powder to water, and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I exactly? So if you don't master the brew ratio, oh, everything is going to turn out a mess. You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio.
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups. For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study. So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. You know, baristas, he's not happy. You will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy. So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Brew Plus. Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing the course.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. You're still watching the Coffee Break Show on the House of Talent TV with me, Amon Mukisa, right here in our bigger studios. You know, these studios are fancy. They make you calm, make you want to take coffee, and especially with the fact that we have the coffee session. That's, you know, the best part of the show for me is when we are brewing coffee, because I get to learn how to make this coffee. I don't know about you who's watching us from home, but me, this is the part that I always look out for. Sam today is going to help us like brew or make for us a French press. Yes, I know we've had many baristas, many coffee makers come here and make a French press, but there's someone who tweeted us and he was like, you know what guys, yes, I've watched all these episodes that you've done about the French press, but I really wanted to do it one more time for me in one weekend. And here we are. We have the big guy right here, ready to make for us the French press. Sam,
Yes, please.
are we ready to make the French press for our dear viewers?
Very much ready, sir.
Very much ready.
Yeah.
Here's the floor for you. Tell us what's it all about that people fancy French presses, what type of coffee it makes, and in what method, all that kind of information.
Okay, a French press is a manual brewing equipment, and every manual brewing equipment comes out with the result is black coffee. Depending on the way you make it, it may be strong or mild, depending on the client's order or what you want as a passion. So here, actually, we are going to make it in a way that favors people at home, because at home mostly people don't have scales and they do want to take coffee. But when you're making this in a restaurant, you're supposed to have a scale around you, and you're supposed to do some measurements. Yeah. So here, we get our lid, put it aside, you ensure that you put it in a clean place. Then we preheat our press.
It's a good thing that you talked about the way that we're going to make this French press. It's more of like a home-based way, whereby you don't need a scale, don't need a kettle, because now we have a flask just with hot water, and we're going to make our coffee.
What I'm doing helps to kill germs and also to preheat our press. Then when you're done preheating, in case you have a scale, maybe I will talk about the scale side when I'm done with this. Then you can get your coffee powder, grinded coffee powder. You can for me I'm going to use 2 spoons.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 spoons of coffee
Why
powder.
would you opt to use 2 spoons, not 1 spoon, not 4 spoons, not 5 spoons?
Because I want it a bit stronger, not so strong, not so mild, but a bit stronger. Okay, because the more coffee you put, the more stronger it will get. You get. When you put less, the more mild it will get.
For the benefit of our viewers who are watching, how big is that spoon in terms of measurements?
This spoon is, these are like 7 grams.
7 grams?
Yeah, 7 grams.
So if you're doing 2 spoons, we're doing around 14 grams.
14 grams of coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Does the grind size matter in a French press?
Yeah, it matters a lot because the grind size has to be slightly coarser compared to other manual brewing equipment.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is supposed to be slightly coarser. So after you're done with the powder, you get your. Then the minutes. Because I first poured, then I waited for some minutes. These minutes help us helps this coffee to go under dampening process and to bloom it. You get? We do this in order to achieve the flavors, the aroma, and the smoothness. Then we can continue with the pouring.
You know, here we're having a conversation and we're giving out this information to our viewer. If you're in the office, if you're at home and you're following the steps that Sam is showing you, is it that the time you've taken, like, because you've taken some time talking to me, is it allowed for the person who's at home, who's in the office making this French press, to also take that time, or there's a specific time that you take while making this French press?
The person at home?
Yeah.
It is allowed if he's actually a coffee taker, because it's not all about taking coffee, as I said. You need to get these flavors. You know, there are people who take coffee just because they were being told to take coffee. You get, and after taking, they say, "Man, I'll never take that shit again." They call it shit at times. Sorry to use that word.
I know.
The thing is too
like
bitter.
coffee drinkers don't like bitter coffee. You know,
You
like
get.
bad tasting coffee.
Yeah.
They don't like it. Yeah.
So after tasting, you know, it helps us, as I said, to gain the body, the flavors and the acidity, the smoothness of the coffee when you're tasting it. Okay.
So the more time the coffee sits in a French press, the more sweet it becomes, or the more bitter it becomes.
The more time it sits in a French press, like for example, you see I've not pressed it down immediately.
Yeah.
I'm allowing these particles to settle at the bottom, you know, and I'm preventing a client, because this, if I'm to serve it to a client or someone at home, to take coffee while having some particles inside, then the more sweet, of course, it becomes. You'll feel the sweetness in coffee, and you feel this aroma and the flavors. Yeah.
Okay. For the person who requested us to do a French press on the show, I hope now you've seen what you need to do step by step for you to get a French press at home. If you're doing it in a coffee shop, just theoretically, take us through the process you have to do to get a good cup of coffee using a French press.
If you're doing it in a restaurant or a cafe, you're supposed to have the following equipments before you come up with this. You have to ensure that you have a timer. You have to ensure that you have the French press, the gooseneck or the kettle, the freshly ground coffee with the recommended grind size.
Which is?
Coarse.
Coarse.
Yeah,
Coarse.
fine to coarse.
How do we measure coarse? Because me, I show if it's not fine, it's coarse. So which type of coarse? Is it like salt coarse? Is it like sea salty coarse? Is it like sugar coarse? So which grind size of coarseness that we need for
it's like actually it is sea
salt.
sea.
So if you know sea salt, the coarseness or the size of a sea salt, that's the grind size you need to have for a French press. So if you go to a coffee shop, look out for that grind size if you're buying a bag of coffee. And so we've gotten our coffee, we've gotten our scale, timer, the French press, the gooseneck kettle, and that's all.
The gooseneck kettle, yeah, for a French press. That's
for French press. That's
yeah,
all. Plus my cup.
Yeah, plus your cup.
So we're done with our French press, right?
Yeah,
I'll tell you about the French press. So guys, tell us what you think about this French press that Sam has made for us. You know, always whenever I'm on the show, I always be the first to tell you how the coffee is tasting. But today, I want you guys to tell me how you've seen or what you've known or understood during the making of this French press right here that we have. But anyway, I'm here and I'm the one going to taste the coffee. So that's the benefit of being on this show. And that's why I said this is my best part of the show. So Sam, can I take on the coffee and taste it?
Yes, please.
Okay, that is mine. Guys, you don't know what you're missing here. One more sip. Wow. It's a very, very nice cup of coffee that is smooth, balanced acidity, the body is not that harsh on my tongue. So I would say I would take this coffee in the morning, I would take it in the afternoon, but I wouldn't take it in the night. Yeah, so it would start my day because it's not that strong, it's not that bitter. So it would start my day, it would run my day, but wouldn't run my night.
I get you, sir.
Sam, thank you for giving us this tutorial right here.
You're welcome.
And for those who are watching us on House of Talent TV, I have some guys that are watching us via Twitter. I see Bright what's this name? Bright Sereka is watching live on Twitter, and I see Saddam Chivi, who wasted here, is also watching us via Twitter. And also, you could also follow us on our Twitter handle, that's at HTV1 Uganda, so that you get to watch this conversation that we're having with Sam. Sam showed us how to make a French press if you're at home. He showed you how to make that French press, but he also told us theoretically, if you're a good barista, what things you need to have when you in a coffee shop or restaurant, what you need to have to make a good French press for a client who has asked for it. Sam,
yes, please.
As we are concluding with the session of making a French press, but also concluding the show, what is one thing, that one thing, as we're ending this month of January, the first month of 2022, what's that one message you have for the viewer who's watching?
Guys out there, I don't know, me, I'm a born again Christian. I will urge people to pray, to come back to God and, pray, because what we've been through wasn't easy. So get back to God and pray. Yeah.
Is that all? That get back to God and pray. God is everything, you know. If you don't have God in your life, you don't need, I think you don't deserve to live if you don't have God, because God is the maker. God has given us this coffee. God has given us this whole space of teaching people how to make coffee. And has let Sam come here to tell us more about coffee and his experience in the coffee industry, right, Sam?
Yeah.
Otherwise, how do people follow you, like on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook? Because they would need to know more about what you've been talking up here.
Yeah, actually, my phone got a problem, but I'm still working on it.
So Twitter is like Sam, something like that?
Yeah, Samuel, Apaga Samuel. Then, that's it.
Okay.
Then Facebook, still Apaga Samuel. WhatsApp, my number is 07562 43 905.
905. Yeah. That's where you get Sam, but where you can get us is House of Talent Uganda on YouTube, but HTV1 Twitter and House of Talent Uganda on Facebook, and you can get me on every platform as Amon Mukisa, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, every platform. That's where you can follow me. Hit us up there and we'll continue the conversation about how CEOs or coffee houses are ready or prepared to open up with a full economy. And as the coffee break, we say, this has been a nice session. Big up to my man who's in a control room, big man Emma, who's not here today. No, whenever he's not here, he's always on those decks giving us those nice shots. And big up to a man called Diallo, who's always on camera to make us look good. And as a House of Talent Uganda, we say, have a nice weekend.
mbakumbuze igitaramo cy'iwacu. Iwacu turatarama ngwino urare. Iwacu turatarama ngwino urare. Iyo dukoze ku nyamirya iz'ubuhuha n'inkomangano biratwizihira cyane. Mpamagare muhigirwa ni Nyaruguru mu muhamirizo w'intore, mu muhamirizo w'intore. Sebaganji babukwege aseruke mu byivugo byiza. Mpamagare Sebatunzi ayihere mu miyuki akubwira intahana batatu yaruta mu kinyange cyarutiruka mu bakemba, mu bakemba. Tugutaramire kandi uzagaruka. Iwacu turatarama ngwino urare. Tugutaramire kandi uzagaruka. Turatarama ngwino urare. Tugutaramire kandi uzagaruka.
Epana biso tolinga kobina. Epana biso tolinga kosepela ka elongo. Tolinga tosepela tosangisa pe tolingana.
Tugusogongeze ku ntango y'amahoro. Nkwibutsa umugani wa Nyashya na Baba, inkuru ya Saruhara rwa Nkomokomo, Cyacana ndetse na Ngunda. Tugutaramire kandi uzagaruka. Iwacu turatarama ngwino urare. Aho dutaramiye nta rungu. Tugutaramire kandi uzagaruka. Turatarama ngwino urare.
Tolingana biso kaka kosepela.
Tugutaramire kandi uzagaruka. Turatarama ijoro tukarita hanze. Cyambere wampaye inka cyuringanje cyuringanje. Reka ntugatsikire. Cyuringanje cyuringanje cyuringanje. Nuko umuco wacu ntugacindishe.
2, 1.
C'est l'Alliance française. Une fille m'a posé une question, pourquoi prendre le français alors que je lui parlais de la radio bonjour Kampala. Oh, venez, 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 venez.
Venez apprendre le français.
Je vous invite à venir.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Viens mon frère.
Venez.
Viens ma sœur, à l'Alliance française.
Venez à l'Alliance française.
Venez, venez,
venez apprendre le français. Venez à l'Alliance française. Venez apprendre le français. Venez à l'Alliance française.
Je vous invite à venir.
Venez apprendre le français. Venez à l'Alliance française.
La plus largement appris après l'anglais. Les Français disent langue étrangère, la plus largement appris
après l'anglais.
La connaissance du français ouvre des portes, des entreprises en France
comme à l'étranger.
La connaissance du français ouvre des portes, des entreprises en France
comme à l'étranger.
C'est la langue de la culture,
la langue internationale pour la cuisine,
la mode, les théâtres, les habitués, la danse et la
Molière, c'est l'idiot number one. En face à pareil à Kampala. Pourquoi tu penses que les Français tirent la internationale?
Que tu sois formé autour du four, du plaisir. Dis-moi le bonheur en Uganda est là, en pleine évolution.
Venez,
Venez, apprendre les français.
mes amis, venez.
Venez, à l'Alliance française.
La langue française,
Venez,
la langue de
apprendre les
paix,
français.
la langue de la courtoisie,
Venez, à l'Alliance française.
la langue française, la langue de la courtoisie, la langue de paix.
Venez, à l'Alliance française.
Venez dans la grande famille, venez à l'Alliance française, venez apprendre le français.
À l'Alliance française.
Je vous invite à venir, venez mes
Apprendre
amis,
le français.
venez, venez,
Venez, à l'Alliance
venez,
française.
venez. Tout le monde parle français,
Parlez français.
parle français.
Parlez français.
Everybody parle français.
Parlez français.
Everybody, bina moke, bina moke, bina moke.
Bina mouké.
Everybody, bina moke,
Bina mouké.
bina à gauche,
Bina à gauche.
bina à droite,
Bina à droite.
bina devant,
Bina devant.
bina derrière,
Bina derrière.
bina devant.
Bina devant.
Parlez français,
Parlez français.
parlez français,
Parlez français.
parlez français. Venez, venez,
Venez, apprendre le français. Venez, à l'Alliance française.
je vous invite à venir, venez apprendre le français. À Kamochao,
Venez, à l'Alliance française.
à Bukoto Street,
Venez,
Claude
apprendre le
Saint-André.
français.
Venez, venez, venez.
Venez, à l'Alliance française.
Si tu veux parler français, viens à
Apprendre
l'Alliance.
le français.
Si tu veux parler,
Venez, à l'Alliance française.
si tu veux entrer dans la famille, viens,
Apprendre
viens,
le
viens,
français.
viens, viens, viens.
Venez, à l'Alliance française.
People at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
Me, I keep saying,
Yeah.
I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
So as we come to the end of the show, what word do you have for baristas out there? Because like we said earlier, you won't be a barrister at 70. Okay, what can these baristas do to make themselves more relevant in the coffee chain and the coffee process, and also more relevant for their lives going ahead?
Okay. I usually meet baristas and I'll tell them you're going to be active for 10 years maximum. You know, if you stretch it, 20 years. But you can, graduate yourself first. You've learned barista, basic barista, add more skills, but also advance to maybe quality control. Because if you do R or Q grading, then you can get a job in a private farm or a coffee exporting or a coffee processing farm. That's one plus. Another thing, if you're a barista who has a background in agriculture, you can work backwards, switching back to your profession. It's going to be good if you applied for a job, let's say quality control, and you're a barista, you have studied R or Q, and you also know some coffee agronomy. Definitely they will take you. Also, you're going to be better than someone who has studied quality control but is not a barista, because every employee wants a bigger package of you at the same price. So the thing is, if you're a barista, you're 40 years, you've overstretched maybe 40, 45, just learn Q or R. UCD has free, these are free courses. I'm not speaking for UCD, but they are free. R and Q grading, they are free. You stand a chance to get a job in the coffee industry, growing or processing farm. But another thing, we have some people we are with who have a background in agriculture or biotechnology.
It is time for the coffee break. A very good morning wherever you're watching us from. How are you doing? How's been your week? Monday to Friday is always a stressing time. Like you wake up on a Monday and you're like, oh God, I have a whole week waiting for me. But on a Saturday like this and a morning like this at an hour of 11 a.m., we always got you covered. We give you a break and talk about coffee. Get to know things that you might have done during the week, and your weekend is covered. So my name is Amoni Mukisa and welcome to the Coffee Break show. This is House of Talent Television and we're streaming live on our YouTube channel. That's at House of Talent Uganda, but also catch the show on Facebook as House of Talent Television Uganda. But on Twitter, you can go over there and follow our Twitter handle. That's at HTV1 Uganda. We shall be streaming live every show from our studios right here in Bukoto. And we get to talk about coffee. We have a variety of shows, but today it's time for coffee. Welcome once again on the show. Today I have a guest. We're going to be talking about various things. We're going to be talking about a little bit of how the coffee houses are going to open up. The economy is fully opening up literally like next week. It's going to fully open up, and now we want to look at it in that aspect of how are the coffee houses ready and how are they going to cope up with extended hours of working, but also on the side of the baristas, are they ready to tackle or take on this mantle of working for more extensive hours? Because most of the baristas, you never know during this time of work, they got more things to do because they used to work less hours. But that's the conversation we shall be having today with my guest today. But before we get into all that, welcome my guest today on the show.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, man. Who are we having here today?
Yeah, I'm called Apaga Samuel, and I'm Ugandan by nationality, a barista by profession, and
Yeah, I like the confidence, man. That's 2022, eh? That's the way to go, eh? It's Samuel.
Yes.
Samuel, how have you been?
I've been good.
How are you finding the new year?
The new year hasn't been that bad, just because I resigned from my former workplace. to move on with something new as I prepare for something better.
You know, always when people resign from their former workplaces, they always have something big coming. Do you have something big that's coming?
Yeah, there's something big I'm expecting.
You know, whenever baristas resign, me, I always think about, like, you know, pushing out. Oh, that's not something big you're talking about, right? Sam,
yeah.
So let's talk about coffee, because this is the coffee break.
Yes, sir.
How do you get into the coffee industry, and how did you get to know about coffee?
Actually, I got to know about coffee through a brother. I was in Form 6, then we're getting to a vacation. Then a brother talked to me, was like, Sam, you're soon having a vacation and it's a bit long. 8 months when you're home. Yeah. Then he was like, maybe you can come, I connect you to someone. You get to know about coffee because, you know, you take it as a profession, then there's some good money, you'll earn some good money.
So the vacation, you were talking about like the senior 4 vacation, no, senior 6 vacation?
Senior 6 vacation.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I got home, my parent contributed some money. Then I joined barista school. Madam Nyakaisike was the teacher. Nyakaisike and Nyapende Sarifai.
Which school was that?
Barista House.
Barista House.
Yeah.
I like the names, Barista House. Like literally it's only for baristas, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I joined, I studied for 1.5 months. Then from there, she got me a job at the Coffee Cafe, Chiwatule. Then I started working as a head barista.
Wow.
Yeah.
1.5 months you've studied and now you're working as a head barista in a certain place.
Yeah.
Ah, man, that was quite something, because people do work for quite a while before they become head baristas. You know, for someone to trust you with their shop, someone to trust you with their coffee and everything to lead it. It seems like you're really, really good doing your training in 1.5 months.
Yeah, actually they equipped me with coffee knowledge, you know, both theory and practical. And she sent me to this lady, and this lady trusted me and gave me the opportunity to run the barista section.
During your school in that 1.5 months, like what were the things you talked about, being specific? Because I know coffee being as a wide thing, it's a wide concept to cover when you're talking about coffee. So when you tell me like you only took 1.5 months to study coffee or get to know it, it beats my mind. Like, how did you like segment all those things in only 1.5 months? What did you do?
Actually, it was more of practical. It was all about knowing how to operate an espresso machine. Then also the other manual brewing part, the different manual brewing equipments. Yeah, it was about the coffee machine and the different manual brewing equipment and how to handle clients. Yeah.
Yeah, the service part of it.
The service part of it.
Okay, let's go back to when you're young. Did you grow around like the coffee area, coffee environment for you to get to know coffee?
Actually, during my young days, I didn't know much about coffee. The coffee I knew was picking the red cherries from the coffee plant, go and sell a kg at 300 shillings.
But did you know by then that they are called red cherries?
No. Actually, I didn't know that.
What would you just mwani?
Yoka. So grandma could send us to go and pick the red cherries. We go and sell. They could sell. We could sell each kg at 300 shillings.
300.
Yeah.
Which year was that, if you can remember?
That was 2012. Yeah, 2012, 2009, 2010. Yeah.
Where was that?
That was Uganda.
Uganda. Oh, you're from Uganda, eh?
Yeah.
You don't even grow coffee, eh?
My mom is Soga, she's from Uganda. Then my dad is from West Nile.
You know, Uganda, Mbale, Bududa, okay, Karamoja is a bit far, but they also grow a bit of coffee. Yeah. But that area, they grow a lot of coffee.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
Like, your mother was growing coffee, right?
Yeah, my grandma.
Your grandma?
Yeah, my grandma.
Like, how were the growing methods they used like to grow coffee, if you can remember?
If I'm to remember or to recall, actually for us we went when it's already grown.
It's already up.
It's already up. So we're there to pick the cherries, go sell. We never went through the nursery bed and all that.
What's one thing that you bought and you can still say, yes, I sold this coffee and I bought this?
Actually, I remember when we picked the red cherries, we used to chew the very ripe coffees, yeah, and we could get this sweet taste from it. Then grandma was like, "You people, you're spoiling my coffee. Yet we need to go and sell and get some money for sugar. You need to pick more coffees. We go sell, get some money for sugar, maybe breakfast."
Well, the reason why I ask you that question is because during Christmas, my young brother, he's aged now 10 years. So my dad told him, if you want to buy something for yourself on Christmas, go and harvest the coffee, because we had some coffee plantations in our banana plantation somewhere. They're not much, you know how like you can grow coffee in the banana plantation and so that coffee tree had beared a lot of coffee cherries. So my dad told this guy, you go and harvest that coffee, you sell it and you buy whatever you want, I'm not going to give you any money. That guy went and harvested coffee, and what he did, he had, I'm told he got 10 kgs and he sold it. He bought a pair of trousers and a t-shirt. But I tell you that day, he never removed those clothes. So that's why I was like, what is that one thing that you bought with the coffee you sold?
For us, we used to sell and, give the money to the grandma.
Oh!
Yeah, that's what we used to do. We didn't know much about money, so we could go sell. Then this guy could get the money and bring to the grandma. So we were helping the guy. He wasn't giving us this money. We could give the money to the grandma.
Okay. Yeah. Before you went to Barista House as the coffee school, which schools did you go to? And in these schools, did they like talk about coffee?
Before
you went to Barista House as a coffee training school, Which schools did you attend?
It was a Chitante Hill.
Oh, you're the rich guys, huh?
No. It was a Chitante Hill from Form 1 to Form 4. Then Form 5 and Form 6, I went to Emirates, those ends of Entebbe.
The schools you've talked about, they're all in Central, and you told me your grandma was in Uganda. How do you get to Central?
Actually, we were born here.
Oh, you're born here?
Yeah, we were born here. So during our holidays, we're taken to the village, to go stay with
your grandma, to get to know your grandma very well.
And the people there.
Yeah. And in your high school, you never had like coffee clubs and everything, because in the previous show with Michael, correct? If you haven't watched that show, please go to our YouTube channel, that's our Soft Talent Uganda, and watch that show. It was a very, very nice show. Michael talked to us about how he got to know coffee, how he got to know our introduction into the coffee industry. And he was like, there were these coffee clubs in school, in universities, and that's how he got to know coffee. Were there coffee clubs in your school?
For us, we were very, very unfortunate. We never had any coffee club. Yeah.
Do you think it's something that maybe schools can consider?
Yeah, very, very much. Because it is helping out youth to a greater extent. You get youth are gaining much from coffee, and coffee is on a wide market. You get when you get to know coffee, you won't fail to get a job or to get any connection anywhere, because in this world of coffee, people connect friends. When you're this good kind of person, you won't fail to be connected somewhere. Me, I've been connected by several friends. I've also connected several people, you get. So there is love, there is this selfish spirit in this coffee world.
Okay. So, there is love, there is connection in the coffee sector, and there is love, there is connection on the coffee break. And I hope you've gotten to know who we are having on the show today. That is Sam. I was still having him on the show, so don't touch your day. We're coming back right after this break.
itaranto hariho umutware yaratunze cyane afite n'abagaragu kera kabaye agira uruzinduko mu kindi gihugu ahamagara abagaragu be maze abasigira ubutunzi bwe umwamuhita arane eshanu undi amuha ebyiri undi amuhita arane imwe itagiriye kabiri maze umutware arazinduka maze babagaragu batangira gukoresha za carano nk'uko shebuja yazibasigiye uwahawe shana aragenda arazigenza agenzura amesha hano uwahawe ebyiri nawe abigenza atyo agenzuramo ebyiri maze wa wundi wahawe imwe aragenda acukura icobo ayishamo ya tarano aratinyuka arayitabaye nuko imitsi irayitindira ataha maze shebuja mu kuzindukuruka abarana nabo ibyo yabasigiye uwahawe shana araseruka ati databuja mwiza wansigiye shanu uzungutse izindi eshanu uwahawe ebyiri nawe araseruka ati databuja mwiza wansigiye ebyiri zungutse izindi ebyiri shebuja ati bagaragu banje beza nuko kuko mwakiranutse muri bike nico gitumye mbekurira byinshi ico nimuze mwinjire mu munezero wa shobuja maze wa wundi waho itarantimwe itagiriye kabiri adatera hejuru azayivovota cyane ati databuja narinzi kuri umunyamwaga usarura utabibye na munagane itaranto narayitabye mu butaka dore ngiyo ufata ibyawe maze shebuja aramusubiza ati mbe mugaragu mubi niko wamunyabutewe esi ni wari ukwiye kuyiha abagenza maze nkasanga aho inyungu yayo nuko shebuja arayimwambura ayigabira wa wundi wungutse itarani 10 igiye mu zindi agira 11 kuko ufite wese azongererwa ariko udafite azanyagwa n'utwo yari afite maze wa mugaragu mubi baramuboha bamujugunya mu mwijima hanze azize ubupfapfa mbega agahinda we itaranto yawe yikoreshe neza igira umumaro mu gihe gikwiye itaranto yawe yikoreshe neza igira umumaro mu gihe gikwiye mbese gufasha abakene gusura abarwayi ibikorwa by'urukundo gushigikirana imirimo myiza igihe twahawe aya mafaranga nizo taranto twasigiwe ngo zigire umumaro igihe tukiriho itaranto yawe iyikoreshe neza igira umumaro mu gihe gikwiye itaranto yawe iyikoreshe neza igira umumaro mu gihe gikwiye
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups. For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, you know, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study. So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. You know, baristas present their cups according to the way they are feeling, according to the mood. In case he left home when he's sad, he's not happy, you will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy. So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Pro Plus. Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing the course.
You're still watching House of Talent Television, and welcome back from that short commercial break. We're still having Sam being able to tell us what were his experience while joining the coffee industry. Sam, what were your childhood memories when joining coffee?
Actually, I didn't know about coffee. When I got done with my Form 6, I had a very different dream. I wanted to be a preacher. I wanted to preach the gospel.
Pastor.
Yeah, pastor.
Apostle.
And farming, farming as I preached the gospel of Christ. So when my brother introduced me to Barista House, of course, at first I didn't have this love and passion for coffee. My mind was all about getting the money, you know, as a youth, you know, buying good stuff, some good phone, clothes, you know. So in the process, I actually fall in love with coffee. I loved coffee. I learned a lot, and I preached coffee. Okay. Different people.
You preached coffee.
I preached coffee.
Okay.
And people got to know coffee, because me, as I was at the station, they could give me a steward to hold me, but I could teach them. Yeah, I could teach them, and when I was resigning, I could leave them to head.
Can we say that your memories of being, or your dream of being a pastor, when you got into coffee, you forgot totally about being a pastor or becoming a pastor?
No, I didn't actually forget about, you know, I still have this dream in me, but coffee became part of me. It's like putting on a cloth in life that you'll never get rid of. So coffee became part of me. Of course, I'm still chasing my dream, but coffee is already part of me. Yeah.
How's the dream coming?
The dream will come. It is still on the way.
It's still on the way.
It is still on the way, and I believe I will fulfill it. Yeah, but so, now coffee is part.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
So what was like the real motive of joining coffee? Was it preaching the coffee? You know, here on the show we call it the coffee gospel, or it was just because of getting money?
Actually, it was. At first, it was because just of getting money. I wanted to get money and do some other stuff, start up a small business and leave coffee. But as I went on doing baristaing, you know, doing coffee, studying more about coffee, I got in love with coffee. So I do preach coffee. I hold people, you know, reach barista Brew Plus, because these days are no longer sent to Barista House. Brew Plus is much better, and it is helping out, you know, guys out there. So I send my friends there for more knowledge, and they are happy. They are working. You get the people I trained. You know, at the station you can't fully train someone. You train this person, and you know, forward this person to Brew Plus for more training.
How long have you been a barista, Sam?
I've now been a barista for 4.5 years.
Because training, 1.5 months, if I remember what you talked about in the first segment of the show, and now you're talking about training other students. How do you do all this as one person?
Actually, in my life, I've been longing so much to hold. I want to hold. I remember one day I was training a steward at a sleek place. It's a restaurant and a bar, and one of the workmen came and said, "Sam, aren't you afraid that you're training this guy? They are giving him less money than the one you're earning. Aren't you afraid that you'll be fired and this guy will be replaced?" You know, I was like, I don't fear to be fired. Actually, I've never been fired. This is what I've been doing since I started, and I have to keep on doing it. You get? There are people out there, they are suffering, and coffee is here. If you get to know coffee, you're good to go. Be it abroad, you know, coffee is a very high demand. When you get to know coffee, employment opportunities are higher compared to other short courses. Yeah.
Talking about coffee being here, today on the show, we said we're going to be dissecting the topic of how these coffee houses and baristas are going to cope up with full opening of the economy. And that's something you need to share with us on our social media platforms. That's at HTV1 Uganda, on Twitter, And on Facebook, that's at House of Talent Uganda. We're streaming live on Facebook, so go deep down there and put your comment and tell us how, if you're a barrister, how are you going to cope up with extended hours of work? And if you're CEO or coffee or house owner, tell us, like, how are you prepared with these hours of work? Sam,
yes, please.
Baristas who are working in these coffee shops have been down like for 2 years. Some have been laid off, some have been working for some limited time. How are these baristas going to cope up with the added time that is going to come with the full opening of the economy?
To the other hand, it is going to be hard, most especially for the baristas in these small cafes, because these people, trust me, I've been in some of these cafes. They are not willing to give out shifts, and they overwork junior baristas to an extent of, you know, making them lose this morale, this coffee morale. Because some time back I had a friend, he was employed in, he was actually my neighbor. He was at Zarif, I was at the coffee cafe. And this guy could work from morning to midnight, or to midnight or to 2, you get, and you have to come back in the morning and prepare the mission plus and all that. So the guy actually, after leaving the place, he was like, I will never work again in Uganda.
The experience made him hate working in Uganda.
That experience made him hate Ugandans, you get.
Isn't that what we call exploitation of workers?
That is what most cafes, most especially these small cafes are doing. And they are making these young gentlemen hate our industry. No, someone can't work from morning to closure, yet you're expecting him to come very early in the morning the other day. You get. And you'll find out that most of the baristas these days who join Brew Plus come to study to move abroad because of such incidences. And I don't blame them. Me, myself, it has ever happened to me. I used to work like from morning to midnight at times, you get. And the boss, when you come back a bit late the next day, the boss, you know, becomes so rude, as if you have committed a very big crime, you get. So this will affect people.
Yeah.
And most, especially these people who are in these small cafes that are struggling to catch up, yet they are not willing to provide what is needed for a cafe to catch up, you get.
How did you deal with that whole experience of like working for long hours and the boss would be bitter when you come in a little bit late?
It was actually a very hard experience. I worked for like 6 months. Then this time round, I did not even write a resignation letter.
Just
left. Then they called, you come back and we talk, come back and, you know, we sort it out, we get you a helper. You were good. You know me, I'm a very patient guy with bosses. But when it's too much, I leave. And I've done this to 3 different places, 3 different restaurants. I won't mention them.
Yeah. You've set up different places, different restaurants, different coffee shops.
Yeah.
If you would be in the shoes of these CEOs, these coffee house owners, how would you prepare for such an opening of the economy? Like, how would you prepare for this opening of the economy? Like, you've been working from 7 maybe to around 5 or 6, but now you're going to work from 7 up to around maybe midnight or 10 p.m.
I'll have to look for, most especially these people in production, the people in the barista section and the kitchen. I'll look forward to giving them shifts, because these guys do work and they are not like people in service who always work and get some tips. They don't get tips. So I would employ more people to come and help out to ease work, because since the government is opening, we are going to expect more customers. Back then, clients used to worry because of the curfew. You go, you sit, then someone comes in, say, we are closing because of the curfew. But this time round, people will come and sit comfortably. And we are expecting big numbers of clients, not like those days where people used to fear the old people could not move out because, you know, old guys were dying more than the young people because of the virus. So we didn't see much of these old aged people in our restaurants. They were in that fear. Instead, we could deliver to them. They could give a call, you deliver, you give us curry,
Delivers.
So this time round, we are expecting big numbers of people, but to prepare for them, we need to work on the production side in order to provide and not to overwork people.
Okay, don't leave this conversation for us, guys. We're having a conversation about the full opening of the economy and the fact that in the coffee industry, various people are opening up like to more working hours. So get to our Twitter platform, our Twitter handle, tweet us and let us know how would you deal with the full opening of the economy in whatever business you're in. Are you in a restaurant? Are you in a shop? You would be watching the show because it's nice for you, but you don't work in a coffee business. Maybe you have something like a wholesale business selling merchandise. How are you prepared to work for these long hours, and how have you prepared for your workers? Let's talk about an issue of human resource. You talked about employers employing more employees, right?
Yes.
But this guy will come out and tell you, hey, look, yes, I want to employ different people or more people, but hey, I don't have money. Like I've been working from 7 to maybe 5, but clients have been stopping to come in at around maybe 2 p.m. Where am I going to get this money that's going to pay more employees that you want me to employ? How do you advise such a person?
Okay, most of the people that have come up with most of the cafes around town, they always, when you reach these bosses, they're like, want to be like Cafe Javas, want to do as Javas does. Not knowing that at Javas, people work in shifts. And actually, I worked for a certain boss. He employed me as a senior barista and at the same time as a supervisor to train the team. Then he was giving me some good money. I was like, yes, you're giving me good money, but are you going to get someone else to hold me out? Because I'm a barista, yes, I have a steward, but at the same time, I'm a supervisor. This is overloading me. You get? I'll need an assistant. He was like, no. Keep on pushing. Then with time,
I shall get someone.
I shall get someone to help you out. It became a song. You get? So the advice I'll give the CEOs about what is going, the country is opening, get some junior baristas. They are not so expensive since they have just joined the industry. Give them good money, not very good, but good money. Give them some allowances. Trust me, these people will work. As long as he's not working for long hours, this guy will work.
Okay, this guy will work, but also the point of quality. You know, we've been used to producing a certain quantity of a certain quality in terms of maybe like coffee. You've been producing maybe 50. Okay, 50 for, let me just consider the smaller shops. You've been using like maybe 10 kgs of coffee a week. That's like maybe 1.5 kilos of coffee every day. And now you're going to open up, you're going to have higher demand for coffee. How would you advise this person who wants to bring in much coffee to maintain the quality of coffee that's bringing in?
Bringing in more coffee.
Like for example, maybe I've been bringing in 10 kgs of coffee every week. But now due to the fact that we're opening up, I'm going to bring in maybe like 20 kgs of coffee. So, but I want to maintain this quality of coffee and also bring in much coffee in my coffee shop. How am I going to do that?
You want to maintain the quality of the coffee.
Yes.
You know, maintaining quality starts with people you employ. If these people are well equipped with coffee knowledge, don't worry much about quality.
Really? Because I might be well with the coffee knowledge, but my friend, the coffee you're bringing to me as a barista, it's terrible. How am I going to?
Of course, as a barista, you have to tell. You should be in position to tell whether the coffee you're being provided is good or bad. You get this. The boss should not be the one to tell. You know, this is your section. You're heading this section, so you should be in position to know which coffee is good and which coffee is bad. You know, this takes us back to where people teach baristas from. People have come up with different baristas lab and schools, and there are people who are actually giving them half information and knowledge, skills about becoming a real barista. You get me myself. I was affected sometimes. When I left barista house, I didn't know about, how to calibrate a grinder. I came to know a grinder when I'm in the field. I knew how to steam the other side and all that, but I didn't know more about the grinder. So I got to know the grinder in the field. So at times you leave a school, knowing that you're good to go, reaching there, someone brings in coffee, and you just grind and serve. You can't tell that this is good coffee or bad coffee. Then why are you heading a department? Okay.
Why are you heading a department? Because I'm paying you to head a department.
The boss trusts somebody to head a department, knowing that this person is having the knowledge, enough knowledge and skill to push the department forward. But now when you serve bad coffee, then
do you really think that CEOs or owners of different companies, especially in the coffee industry, should adopt this method of like taking back their workers in whatever department they're in, because they're serving coffee more than service, whether the cleaner, because this cleaner is helping me like clean the place where I'm taking coffee from. Do you think they should adopt that method of like taking back the students, taking back these people for more training, refreshing training?
Yeah, actually, it's the advice I will give, because we've ever done it. I was at Chili's and we were doing it. So is getting experienced people. Maybe you can go to Brew Plus, talk to the CEOs to get you someone experienced. Take this person to your restaurant and train these people. That is actually what I would advise the CEOs to do.
Okay.
You get someone experienced, give him some money. It's not much money. You get? Take him to your restaurant. Let him train these people.
Okay, if you're a CEO and you're glued on this show, which is the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent TV, let us know, how do you keep your employees up to date in everything they do? Like, the point you employ them is the same standard they're doing to the level that they are on in doing that specific time. Well, let us know how you do it. This is the Coffee Break Show, and my name is Amun Mukisa. We're going to go into a short commercial break, and up next is our brewing session that we shall be having with my colleague right here. Don't you go away.
You see, I think there's been a lot of growth and transformation. I appreciate the work national IT authorities is doing, and also, of course, they come up with policies that people are supposed to comply with. You know, when it comes to IT with cyber security, like I said, we have a layer of compliance and governance. Whereby government will come up with policies and say, okay, we need you, each and every person should have at least a basic thing, which is antivirus on their devices. Because at the national level, they have what we call cyber threat intelligence, whereby I think UCC has a solution. Because I remember I was involved in that tender for procurement of
a cyber threat intelligence solution, whereby we could be able to identify this is the new attack, it's coming from Russia, it's attacking our bank here, then they could be able to block that traffic at a national level. Okay. Well, the government is doing something. But then also, as individuals, like I said, we need to also be vigilant. Yeah. Because the government will not be able to understand which new VPN client has come up, yeah, or which new VPN solution has come up, probably because they will not know. Yeah. But for you, go ahead and download it and install it on your device. And then you try transacting. You actually go to, then you say, oh, I've stolen money from my account. Oh, my information was stolen. Oh, I see nudes on social media. People steal nudes from people's devices and actually they ask for a pay. Yeah. Someone says, if you don't give me $100,000, I'm going to publish your nonsense on the cyberspace. You know? So people need to be vigilant. But of course, the government is also doing something.
That's when I started learning that, oh, this is how coffee is. But why is it that we produce coffee here and just sell it when we don't take it here, we don't consume it here? So one time when I had just started my training here, I went back to Uganda. And then I went to a hotel, a very established hotel. I will not mention its name. Then I wanted to see if I have people that know about coffee in hotels, because I knew maybe probably big hotels serve coffee. So to my dismay is that I introduced myself as a barista and everybody was like, what's a barista? So I said, a barista is a specialist that makes coffee, a person who makes coffee for people to, coffee like, cappuccino, different kinds of, coffees, and people were like very green. I said, this is a big hotel. I expected to find here a coffee machine, and nobody knows about it. So it's, I think, incumbent of us to really transform this entire community, the entire country, to coffee, to learn about coffee, and also to give them the advantages of coffee, teach them about coffee, and then later on they maybe consume it, rather than just selling it.
I come from the Pearl of Africa. It's a beautiful country with beautiful nature. To me, it really inspires me and motivates me. And actually, in one of my tags on my clothing, especially on my jeans, you see those lines that appear on the back pockets of the jeans. When I was doing my internship in Paris, I happened to go to a fashion museum where I read a few books, about fashion designers and their names and about their creations and things like that. There are signs on jeans like the Wrangler, the Lee jeans. All those jeans have signs on the pockets. And before I went to Paris, I was doing that already because I was drawing my inspiration. I used to love geography. And the Ugandan, East African geography was really very interesting to me. Knowing that I come from the Great Lakes, East African Rift Valley, that's why you see those lines on my jeans. I brought two theories, because they are just theories about the creation of the Great East African Rift Valley. So I put those. So it's the nature and the music that really inspires me and motivates me. Wow.
it's a CEO bench, so usually people want to assume that all CEOs are over-learned and stuff like that. So I will change the script this time around. I consider myself a certified hustler.
If I'm looking to know who you are you Ugandan? If yes, what are the values that define you as Ugandan?
That's the easiest question, I think, to answer. I am a typical Lao man from Erute North, in a place called Ogur, and where I will be laid to rest is in a village called Agweng. So if you go there and you just say Otoa Tony, they won't really know me because my father is also Otoa Tony. You have to ask for Junior, and when you're asking, you have to ask with an accent. Junior Tikwene, where is Junior? And they will identify me. But I'm typically Ugandan, only Ugandan, from Lira. I pride myself from being from Lira. Earlier on, I was joking and saying I'm the coolest Lango south of Karuma. When you cross Karuma, there are so many. But when you're down in the south after Karuma, I think I'm number one.
Wow. Well, now that you know Tony Otoa is Ugandan, and of course, what are the values that define you as a Ugandan?
I think it's the love for country, love for nation. You know, truth be told, the country is in a lot of, it's a crisis. Leadership crisis, economic crisis, social crisis. There's so many mismatching areas. But at the end of the day, it's home. You know, you cannot run and abandon your home because of the issues in your home. I think that then creates an opportunity for you to do something to change what's happening and what you see as a crisis. So in terms of what I see as a value, or what I take out of that for me, I think it's just the love for country, the need to serve country the best way I can. And I mean, I can't say I can change everything, but the little I can do to create a difference, I think is more meaningful.
Wow. Mr. Tony Otoa, growing up, what did you want to be in life? And what was the journey like for Mr. Otoa?
Yeah, you know, my father is crazy. My father would call us and he would show me the compass. The idea was supposed to be a pilot. You know, the planes would fly over our house and my father would be like, yeah, you're going to be a pilot. But of course, as you grow, you realize that you have so many things that really define you. I was never a sportsman. So I enjoyed a lot of debate and, you know, a lot of indoor activities. And that is, I think, what really drove me into some of the things that I do up to today. Public speaking, the love for debates and really a lot of intellectual discourse and all this stuff. But besides that, I think it's also the fact that I won't lie. I didn't know what I wanted to be.
give credit to Double XL for bringing out what's reality.
Even watching football is not enough. When is season 2 coming out?
Finally, Uganda got something new on TV.
Double XL has opened up the wounds.
My highlights for the show was when you guys took the cameras to Bokoto Street, where you shot the potholes.
If XXL came to me and wanted sponsorship, and I could afford it, it would be the show that I'd sponsor. It's a show that everybody watches.
XXL is a pioneer. Bush Baby has shown this Eddie Okila.
You should bring on more challenging people.
They take you to different places.
You hosted Nobad Mao, and that was great.
XXL going. Who told you? Who's on? No.
You have very many guests on XXL.
The message for the sponsors that please bring it back.
Definitely, you guys have made it real big.
He was talking about the under-16 tournament that you guys played in, obviously coming off a loss to Mali, then rallying up and going for the later stages. If you're to compare, Ugandan basketball with, let's say, basketball from Egypt, basketball from Mali, where would you rate Uganda?
Compared to Mali and Egypt, I think we're not at their level yet, but I know we can be because their preparation is very thorough and they really do invest in the youth basketball and take their time to nurture the teams that are coming for the tournament. So in that area we're lacking because we have the talent, but the preparation for the tournaments is what needs to be worked on.
So we basically have the skill and the talent.
Yeah.
We just need to prepare better. Interesting.
How did you, as a child, if you visibly remember, what did you want to be in life?
Well, if I go back, I think I looked at two things as a child. I thought about, I looked up to the skies and I'd see the stars and, see the airplanes flying over. And as I was there, with my dad, looking after the cows, or with my grandma going fishing, or with my grandpa farming, I'd look up and go, wow, what are those things up there? And then someone told me, that's a space station. Go, okay, interesting. And what else is up there? Well, those are stars, and those are airplanes. I thought, well, it would be great, to figure out how those things work. Yeah. And so I guess that was one interesting, passion of mine as a little kid, figuring out how aerospace vehicles work. And I guess that wasn't, something which excited me a lot.
Wow. You said the two things. So how did you end up there? You were fishing with your grandmother, you mentioned, and farming with your father, and grazing with your grandfather. Why were you not able to pick one of these from these, three different distinct people, and then you ended up in the things that are up in the sky with all this interest? What was the motivation like? Was somebody an aerospace engineer? Was somebody thinking about the things up, or it just came to you?
It's, back then, we didn't have Wi-Fi. We didn't have mobile phones. We didn't even have phones, yes. Or television. We just had nature, and that was great, And we had stories around the campfire, around the hearth every evening. We'd sit down and talk to each other. We lived quite close to national parks, so every now and again a lion would hop over and grab a cow and go and have supper as well. So we shared with the lion. So it was being at one with nature. But what was important in all that was, allowing one's mind to imagine, allowing one's mind to run, to fly, to really go as far as one's mind could possibly go. And if I think of looking at things from the space going down, I could still look down and figure out what's going on, on the fishing side. I could look at what's going on the farming side. I could look at what's going on the grazing side, because when you're up there, you can see everything. But it also helps you appreciate how special the earth is. So that's I'm most grateful for that natural environment, that any kid in a rural village in Uganda or any other part of Africa right now has that where you see every star. And I believe there is something special about that.
You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, brew ratio is
very important.
The most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of
Water.
the coffee powder to water, and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I exactly?
do I need to add?
So if you don't master the brew ratio, oh, everything is going to turn out a mess. You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio.
Give credit to Double XL for bringing out what's reality.
Even watching football is not enough. When is season 2 coming out?
Finally, Uganda got something new on TV.
Double XL has opened up the wounds.
My highlights for the show was when you guys took the cameras to Bokota Street, where you shot the potholes.
If XXL came to me and wanted sponsorship, and I could afford it, it would be the show that I'd sponsor. It's a show that everybody watches.
XXL is a pioneer. Bush Baby has shown his Edio Killer.
You should bring on more challenging people.
They take you to different places.
You hosted Nobad Mao, and that was great.
XXL doing? Who told you? Who's on? No.
You have very many guests on XXL.
The message for the sponsors is that please bring it back.
Definitely, you guys have made it real big.
coffee industry is very wide, it's very big, it's very full of opportunities. Don't sit there and say, I have nothing to do. You can join the industry. You can get whatever you want. If you give it time, invest in it. By giving it time, don't look for money, don't look for big salary at first. First learn. After learning, you'll get how much amount you need. Yeah. In coffee industry, there's no like, barista should get this amount of money. No, it depends on your knowledge. Yeah. What you know is what you get. You cannot be like having junior experience and asking for experienced one. No. You can join now. Good thing, everything is simple. Yeah. It's easy. Don't sit there and say, oh no, I'm scared to join this. No, it's very simple. You can make. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not so difficult. Simple, very simple, very enjoyable. You can do everything when you're enjoying. You can do your coffee. You can serve your customers. Coffee create friendship. Yeah. Coffee gives you job. Even if you are not working in a cafe, maybe you can go in different field, but still in coffee industry. Yeah. Yes.
Let's put up the camera.
It is House of Talent Television Uganda, and we're broadcasting live and direct on our studios here on Ukoto Street. Welcome to the show. This is the Coffee Break Show with me, Amoni Mukisa. And today's show is going to be amazing. We have one of the world, let me say, world guys, best guys, I can't say, but living down here in Uganda is a barista champion, and we're going to be delving through his story and get to know him better. How is the experience of being a world, I can't say a world barista because he's been a barista, a champion barista for quite a while. But before that, welcome to the show. And as I said, my name is Amoni Mukisa. This is the Coffee Break Show. What you need to do is get a cup of coffee and get your tablet, your monitor, your phone, your, I don't know if Katochi, those phones have been put to that standard of where you can connect to the internet. But if it is true, you can also get over there and watch us via Facebook as House of Talent Uganda, YouTube House of Talent Uganda, and Twitter HTV1UG. You can follow us on all those platforms, and you'll be streaming live and direct with us here in our studios on Ukoto Street. Well, Michael, here we are.
I'm here, brother. How are you?
People have been requesting for you on the show, eh?
I'm right here.
You're right here. Yeah. How have you been?
I've been fine.
How is the new year treating you? Okay, we're 2 weeks so far, 3 weeks so far in the new year. So, how is it treating you?
I think so far so good. Like, just started on well. We are seeing on how it is going to go all the way, but so far so good.
Money is where?
Money, we can't say now. Let's wait for December.
You're not chilling with the big boys like most people are saying these days, eh?
Chilling with the big boys. We are trying to chill around slowly.
But no worries, on the Coffee Break Show, so you're going to be chilling with the big boys now.
Definitely.
Well, Michael is a barista champion 2018-2019, and will be letting us know how he got to be a barista champion. As we were getting on the show, he told me he's tired of being a barista champion. Who says that? So all that and more, we're going to be having that conversation. But before we get into that conversation, we need to know who is Michael.
Okay. So Michael